Great. Did you understand you're charged with assault intentionally, knowingly of serious bodily injury by omission with a child? Did you understand that's the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Range of punishment is 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Pettis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her rights to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 18 years in the prison and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
All right, everyone, today's case is a difficult one. We're looking at a court hearing involving a woman charged in connection with the abuse and tragic death of her own child. It's as heartbreaking as it sounds. It's hard to understand how someone can take a life and then appear in court acting like they're the one who's been wronged. Throughout the hearing, she's emotional, but for many watching, it raises more questions than answers. This is one of those cases that truly leaves an impact. It's upsetting, it's painful, and it forces us to think about how justice should be served in situations like this. As you watch, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. How do you feel about the way this case is unfolding? Now, let's go back to the beginning and see how it all started.
Is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State Exhibit 1.
No objections.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Is there a reason she's crying?
She's just upset.
All right, what are you upset about?
Situation. I didn't expect this.
What's upsetting you about the situation?
Try to do something kind and just.
It's just I don't know if the court has noticed, every time she's come in, she's been
Crying.
very emotional, Your Honor.
I apologize, Your Honor.
No, all right, I'm just asking questions. All right, if we can go off the record. All right, state, are you asking to amend the stipulations?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objections.
All right, and then the court will review states exhibits 1 and attachments with the amended stipulations. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anyone want to say why I should follow this plea bargain agreement?
I can speak briefly on that, Your Honor. I think for the stipulations, so the way that she came about, Ms. Pettis came about to have the child was kind of strange to begin with. She, in my opinion, I think saw these 2 children that were on the streets. Her and her partner tried to help take them in. And then obviously there was an incident that Ms. Pettis describes a week prior to this where, again, she should have taken the girl in for medical treatment immediately. And then obviously she fell from the stairs.
Let's backtrack a little bit, because it says in the stipulations that there were 2 people outside of the store. She says she's being a good Samaritan. So she takes them both back to her apartment. And then she tells one of them, I can no longer keep you here. You need to leave. But I'll keep the complainant.
Yes, her and her partner. So her partner ended up, I believe, keeping the younger boy, and she kept the younger girl at the apartment.
And is this younger boy currently alive?
Yes,
Yeah.
Your Honor.
Yes.
And where is he?
As CPS has removed him, he leaves with other family.
Okay.
The incident described that is the leads to this tragedy. Obviously, is Yvonne describes it as she's playing. Obviously, the kid shouldn't be playing on the stairs. We know that. She hits her head and her back. She seems like she's okay as far as checking on her. She's eating, watching
So why was
TV.
she pinching her as a sign of, as punishment? Because that's what it says in the steps, that she would pinch her.
Yes, Your Honor. I
Why?
It wasn't like I'm pitching her, just kind of like a grab, like just
It says it
to
left
prompt her.
bruises.
I'm sorry.
It said it left bruises.
That's the last we see of her in that hearing. But don't go anywhere. Up next, we're going to look at what happened 5 months later, when she was finally sentenced for the tragic abuse and death of her own child. This is the kind of case that's incredibly hard to watch. There's no justification, no excuse. It's a deeply disturbing crime. And for many, it's hard to imagine any sentence that could truly reflect the seriousness of what happened. In situations like this, anything less than the full weight of the law feels unjust. When a child's life is taken, the consequences should be severe and permanent. Let's take a look now at how the judge handled sentencing in this heartbreaking case.
I didn't realize it was gonna leave a bruise. I didn't intentionally do it to like leave that bruise. The little girl, when my daughter was, when
And so I think she's describing as, yes, she again is admitting to that. It doesn't matter whether you think it's gonna leave a bruise or not leave a bruise, I think we would agree. And then as far as her actions, she seemed like she was okay, and then the next morning, obviously, she's not, and then drops her off at the hospital, and then obviously does another, another bad thing, just leaves her and then leaves. She does come back, she does sit down with the police, she does talk to them, tell them everything that's going on and what happened. Obviously, at that point, it's too late, but I can speak to Ms. Perez from the day I've been with her for 20 months or so, from the day I've met her until today. Every time I talk to her, she's upset, and it's not because of so much of her situation, it's because of what happened, and she knows that she did wrong. She knows she wishes she could go back in time and change all of that, and she says that every time I talk to her. And so
Like maybe if somebody is offering you a child, maybe calling the police.
yes, going that far back, it's not one mistake, it's things that happen over and over. And again,
So was the child healthy when she received the child?
I don't,
Was the child healthy when you received the child?
the first one is Joel,
No, I'm talking
Oh.
about the child that is deceased.
I don't,
Was that child healthy when you received the child?
healthy in a sense, I mean, she was
Healthy in the
skinny,
sense that
she
she
was
had-
skinny,
Did
we
she have
fed
all her
her.
hair
Did she have all her what? Her hair?
on her head?
Yes, Your Honor, I mean, only like patches, like not patches, but like her hair was thin. Her hair wasn't thick, it was thin. Her hair was thin. And she came when I picked her up when Cassandra told me to go, and when we went to go pick her up, she had like a dirty little outfit. I bought her clothes, I mean, there's a lot of things that I should have done and I didn't do when she first arrived at our home. I should have taken her to get a welfare check. I should have done, and I didn't. I just was
well,
trying to-
and like Your Honor
help.
said, I mean, the initial thing would be to contact authorities to go through the proper channels. I think CPS was contacted prior to
They
this and made contact with Ms. Pettis, so they were aware of the situation, but again,
Aware of what situation?
that the girl was staying with Ms. Pettis. But
Was
again,
that before or after the child
before,
was taken to the hospital?
before, I believe.
So Child Protective Services was aware that somebody off the street gave her a child. And she picked up the phone and called Child Protective Services and said,
No,
I got
we-
this child?
No, Ms. Pettis didn't. They contacted her. So again, I agree with the court. She should have done a lot of different things.
Well, I
and
mean, I'm just unpacking things a little bit.
Yes.
So,
The mother has extensive history with CPS and had different children taken away, so I think CPS was checking into the whereabouts of Ronnie and Howell.
All right.
It was that.
so that's how CPS found out that the child was in her care,
Yes.
and CPS did nothing.
Don't mean to interrupt, but I have to point this out. The way she's reacting in court is hard to watch. Her tears don't seem to come from guilt or genuine remorse. It feels more like a reaction to hearing the word prison rather than reflecting on the crime itself. It's striking, there were no tears when the crime happened, but now that she's facing the consequences, the emotion suddenly appears. She's currently looking at an 18-year sentence, and to be honest, for taking the life of an innocent child, that doesn't seem like nearly enough. What do you think? Should the judge accept the plea deal, or is a longer sentence more appropriate in this case? Let's take a closer look and see how the court rules.
I mean, CPS workers sometimes, well, many CPS workers are overworked and underpaid, but I'm wondering why would a CPS worker, and this is just a side note, why a CPS worker would leave a child with somebody that a mother just gave to that's a complete stranger. I guess that's something else that needs to be addressed.
Yes, and like I said, the circumstance behind it are, just to put it, I guess, strange, and that's one of the things that I found strange as well, to, I guess, put it nicely. But
So why am I following in this plea?
Your Honor, at this point, the state, after much back and forth, we recommended this plea due to what is actually being charged, and what we can prove. It becomes a question of whether or not we can prove that she did not seek adequate medical attention in terms of she has training as an LVN and attempted to keep an eye on the child at home, and it becomes whether or not we would be able to prove that she failed to do so due to how it is charged, Your Honor. And so at this point, we do feel 18 years for what she's charged with is appropriate.
All right, and does she have a license as an LVN? I'm assuming.
She did in
does.
the past.
She didn't have, and then I needed to renew it
It's
because I went,
expired, is that right?
yes, and
Yes.
then I started going to school to EC. Oh, sorry.
that's okay. It's expired.
This is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with minors. There's to be,
Judge, did you say 8 or 18?
18. Yeah. Did I say 18?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
It's okay. Matt and I are done
Yes,
this
all right.
morning.
18. All right, 18 years in the prison, credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with minors, and there's to be no employment in the future with minors or vulnerable persons. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Not sentencing, we do have victim impact, Your Honor. Hold on.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, whether you had your LVN license or not, I saw where you took your dog to the groomers. When a child is sick, you take a child to the doctor.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know why. Sometimes people have more love for their animals than they have for little children.
We have to be honest, her story just doesn't add up. The entire case raises serious questions. How do you take 2 children from a public place back to your home, and then one of them ends up dead, under your care? That's not something that happens by accident. Now she's sitting in court with a sorrowful expression, but it's hard to ignore the facts. It's difficult to believe those tears are genuine when the responsibility lies entirely with her. At this point, I truly hope Judge Boyd sees through the performance and delivers a sentence that reflects the seriousness of what happened. My heart goes out to the child. It's heartbreaking to think about what they went through. Personally, I believe a life sentence is more than justified, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now,